Rex Whistler. Reginald John Rex Whistler was born on June 24, 1905, in Eltham, Kent, England, into a family with a modest yet supportive background. His father, Henry Whistler, was a builder, and his mother, Helen Mary Whistler, encouraged her son's early artistic interests. Whistler grew up in a creative environment that fostered his talents from a young age. He was the elder of two sons, and his childhood was marked by a strong sense of imagination and creativity. From an early age, Whistler showed a prodigious talent for drawing and painting. His fascination with storytelling and mythology, as well as his interests in historical themes, were evident in his early works. He was also influenced by his visits to London museums and galleries, where he was captivated by the works of old masters and the decorative arts, which would later become significant influences in his career. Whistler's formal education in the arts began at the prestigious St. Paul's School in London, where his talent was recognized and nurtured. He then briefly attended the Royal Academy schools, but found the environment too rigid and uninspiring for his imaginative style. He was subsequently expelled, a setback that would have discouraged many young artists, but only seemed to propel Whistler toward finding his true artistic path. In 1922, he enrolled at the Slade School of Fine Art, part of University College London, which was known for its progressive approach to art education. It was at the Slade that Whistler truly thrived, developing his distinctive style characterized by elaborate, whimsical, and often fantastical imagery. His teachers included the celebrated Henry Tonks, whose emphasis on technical skill and draughtsmanship greatly influenced Whistler's approach to art. At the Slade, Whistler became friends with notable contemporaries such as Stephen Tennant, Cecil Beaton, and the Sitwell siblings, Edith Osbert and Sacheverell Sitwell, who were key figures in British cultural circles. These connections opened doors for Whistler, leading to commissions and introductions to high society, where his talents as a muralist and painter of imaginative, theatrical scenes were highly sought after. Whistler's career took off in the 1920s with his first major commission, a mural for the Tate Gallery restaurant, completed in 1927, known as the Expedition in Pursuit of Rare Meats. This whimsical and elaborate mural showcased his ability to blend fantasy with meticulous historical detail, drawing from his love of classical art, Rococo design, and romantic landscapes. The mural was a resounding success and established Whistler as a leading artist of decorative arts in England. Whistler became known for his murals, book illustrations, set and costume designs for the theater, and portraits. His style was characterized by an elegant, romantic, and often playful aesthetic, with influences from the Renaissance, Baroque, and 18th century European art. He was particularly skilled in trompe-l'oeil, a technique that creates the illusion of three-dimensional space on a flat surface, which he used to great effect in his murals. Rex Whistler lived through a time of significant change in Britain, marked by the aftermath of World War I, the Great Depression, and the lead-up to World War II. The interwar period in Britain was characterized by social and economic upheaval, which influenced the art world as well. Despite these challenges, Whistler found success and was able to thrive as an artist due to his unique style and the patronage of British high society. However, his life was not without personal challenges. Whistler was known to have struggled with his self-confidence and often felt overshadowed by more avant-garde artists of his time, such as his contemporary Edward Burrough. Despite his popularity among the British elite, Whistler sometimes felt that his work was not taken as seriously by the modernist art community, which favored abstraction and more radical styles. Rex Whistler never married, and his romantic life was marked by unfulfilled and often unrequited loves. He was infatuated with several women throughout his life, including Lady Caroline Paget, who became his muse and for whom he harbored deep, though largely unreciprocated, feelings. Whistler's love life was a source of personal sadness and longing, as his relationships often remained platonic or unfulfilled. Whistler was known for his charm and wit, and he moved comfortably within the circles of British high society. He enjoyed friendships with many prominent figures of his time, and these relationships often inspired his work. However, his personal life was also marked by a certain melancholy, as he struggled with the expectations of his social circle and his own desires for deeper connections. With the outbreak of World War II, Whistler's career, like that of many artists, was interrupted. Driven by a sense of duty and patriotism, he enlisted in the British Army in 1940, joining the Welsh Guards as a second lieutenant. Whistler's artistic skills were put to use designing camouflage and propaganda materials, but he was keen to serve on the front lines. Tragically, on July 18, 1944, during the Allied invasion of Normandy, Rex Whistler was killed in action near Caen, France. He was 39 years old. Whistler died while leading a tank attack, making him one of the many artists and intellectuals who lost their lives in the war. He is buried in the Banneville-la-Campagne war cemetery in Normandy, France. Rex Whistler's legacy lies in his unique contribution to British art and design, particularly through his murals and illustrations. His work is celebrated for its technical brilliance, imaginative scope, and ability to transport viewers into fantastical, beautifully crafted worlds. Although his style was often considered anachronistic compared to the modernist trends of his time, Whistler's work has continued to be appreciated for its craftsmanship and whimsical charm. Posthumously, Whistler's work has been reevaluated and celebrated, with exhibitions and retrospectives highlighting his role as a significant figure in early 20th century British art. His murals, especially those at the Tate Gallery and Place Nude on the Isle of Anglesey, remain enduring examples of his artistic vision. His influence can also be seen in contemporary decorative arts, where his blending of historical references with a modern sensibility continues to inspire. Rex Whistler's life and career were marked by a blend of triumph, unfulfilled desires, and ultimate sacrifice. His contributions to art, both in his own time and beyond, reflect a dedication to beauty, imagination, and the power of storytelling through visual art. Here are 5 of the most famous works by Rex Whistler. The Expedition in Pursuit of Rare Meats. The Expedition in Pursuit of Rare Meats is a large-scale mural commissioned for the Tate Gallery restaurant in 1927. The mural depicts a whimsical, elaborate scene of a fantastical hunt led by explorers in a mythic, Rococo-style landscape. The composition is rich with detail, featuring a mix of imaginary creatures, eccentric figures, and lush, decorative elements. The colors are vibrant, with a palette that includes deep reds, blues, and golds. The mural is designed to wrap around the space, creating an immersive experience for viewers. This work reflects Whistler's fascination with historical and fantastical themes, combining elements of 18th century Rococo with his own imaginative flair. The mural can be seen as a playful commentary on the pursuit of rare and exotic experiences, mirroring the opulence and curiosity of the era. Whistler's use of vivid colors and elaborate design elements highlights the extravagance of the subject matter, while also showcasing his skill in creating a visually engaging and entertaining narrative. The Fantasy of a Landscape. The Fantasy of a Landscape is a mural that exemplifies Whistler's love for fantastical and historical imagery. The work features a highly detailed and imaginative landscape, populated by classical and mythical figures. The scene is rendered with a surreal quality, using a palette of rich, muted colors and intricate patterns. The composition is both dynamic and balanced, with a focus on elaborate architectural elements and lush foliage. This piece reflects Whistler's interest in blending historical references with fantasy, creating a dreamlike environment that invites viewers to escape reality. The inclusion of mythical and classical elements speaks to the artist's fascination with past epochs and their aesthetics. The mural can be interpreted as a commentary on the power of imagination and the allure of historical grandeur, offering a visual narrative that transcends time and space. The Whistler Room at Place Nude. The Whistler Room at Place Nude, located on the Isle of Anglesey, features a series of murals created by Whistler between 1927 and 1929. The room's decor includes whimsical and detailed scenes of classical and mythical figures, set against a richly decorated backdrop. The murals cover the walls and ceiling, creating an immersive experience with a combination of mythological themes and elaborate design motifs. The Whistler Room reflects Whistler's mastery of decorative arts and his ability to transform a space into a living artwork. The murals embody themes of myth and fantasy, celebrating classical mythology and the decorative arts in a way that embraces the architectural space. The room itself becomes a stage for Whistler's creative vision, blending art and environment into a cohesive and enchanting experience. Portrait of Lady Caroline Paget. Portrait of Lady Caroline Paget is a striking portrait of one of Whistler's notable muses and friends. The painting features Lady Caroline in an elegant pose with an elaborate, patterned background. Whistler's use of color and texture in the portrait highlights his skill in capturing both the subject's personality and the opulence of her attire. The portrait is characterized by its intricate details and sophisticated use of light and shadow. The portrait reflects Whistler's ability to convey the personality and status of his sitters through a combination of detailed realism and artistic stylization. Lady Caroline's portrayal is not just a depiction of her physical appearance, but also a representation of her social position and the era's elegance. The portrait underscores Whistler's interest in blending decorative elements with personal likeness, creating a work that is both visually compelling and rich in character. The Mural of the Café Royal. The Mural of the Café Royal was commissioned for the Café Royal in London, and although it no longer exists in its original form, it was a notable work of its time. The mural depicted a fantastical scene with mythological references and extravagant decorative details. The composition was known for its dynamic use of color and intricate patterns, creating a visually stimulating environment for the cafe's patrons. The mural served as both an artistic statement and an enhancement of the cafe's luxurious atmosphere. Whistler's use of mythological and historical elements was intended to evoke a sense of grandeur and escapism, aligning with the opulent character of the Café Royal. The work is an example of how Whistler used his artistic talents to elevate everyday spaces into realms of fantasy and elegance. Other well-known works by Rex Whistler. The Poet's Garden. The Story of the Canterbury Pilgrims. The Hunting of the Snark Mural. The Triumph of Bacchus. The Water Garden. These works, like the 5 listed above, showcase Whistler's distinctive style and his contributions to decorative and figurative art. His ability to merge historical references with imaginative flair remains a key aspect of his artistic legacy. Rex Whistler's legacy is marked by his distinctive and imaginative approach to art. His work remains influential in several ways. Number 1. Decorative arts. Whistler's murals and set designs are celebrated for their elaborate and whimsical qualities. His ability to transform spaces with his imaginative vision continues to be admired in both historical and contemporary contexts. His work in decorative arts helped to popularize a style that combined historical references with a modern sensibility. Number 2. Theatrical design. Whistler made significant contributions to theatrical design, bringing a sense of fantasy and historical richness to stage productions. His work in this field influenced subsequent generations of designers and remains a reference point for the integration of art and performance. Number 3. Cultural impact. Although he was not always aligned with the avant-garde movements of his time, Whistler's work has been reevaluated and appreciated for its unique charm and craftsmanship. His murals, particularly those in the Café Royal and Place Nude, are seen as masterpieces of early 20th century British art. Number 4. Revival of interest. Posthumously, Whistler's work has experienced a revival of interest. Exhibitions and retrospectives have highlighted his artistic achievements and contributions to British art. This renewed interest underscores his place in art history and the continued relevance of his imaginative and decorative approach. Number 5. Influence on contemporary artists. Whistler's work has influenced contemporary artists who appreciate the blend of historical and fantasy elements in his art. His use of elaborate designs and storytelling through visual art continues to inspire and inform modern artistic practices. Rex Whistler's life and career were marked by both artistic brilliance and personal sacrifice. His contributions to art, particularly in the realms of murals and theatrical design, have left an enduring legacy that continues to be celebrated. Despite the challenges and ultimate tragedy of his early death, Whistler's work remains a testament to his creativity and the impact he made on British art and culture.